What's up, everyone? This is Goldilocks, former TNA backstage interviewer, manager, and you're listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast. Thanks for being here.
TNA Wrestling, Cross the Line.
And we're back with episode 266 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Bob Colling Jr. With me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. And Dallas, man, oh man, we are coming out of Genesis. There was a lot going on, but there are two major things that happened. That's right, just two. The first one, we got a new NWA World Champion. I know, guys. What the hell are you talking about? Sting just won it at Bound for Glory. He beat Jeff Jarrett. He ended the reign of terror. Well, Sting's reign didn't last too long because Homeboy got a little overzealous, kind of forgot the rules of the NWA, got himself a little DQ'd, and that means that Abyss is the new NWA World Champion. But in arguably the best main event that we've possibly ever seen in a monthly pay-per-view setting, our Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, defeated Samoa Joe. And when I say defeated, I mean he made Samoa Joe submit. For the first time in his TNA career, Samoa Joe tapped the mat and showed mercy. And then after, he wanted to shake hands with Kurt. He's the better man, Kurt Angle. And what did Kurt Angle do? That's right. Kurt Angle forgot that he was bald, and he decided to get the hair out of his face, and he left. So it looks like we got ourselves a little bit of a double turn. Samoa Joe back to being the rightful babyface of the program, and Kurt Angle being a little bit of a bad guy. Gals, we both enjoyed Genesis. How are we feeling as we head towards Turning Point?
Well, I don't want to say too soon how we're feeling. We only got 3 weeks to Turning Point, so I'm curious how this build's gonna go. But we are coming off a pretty solid pay-per-view. Genesis was good. I liked it. Another big thing, Bob, you forgot. But they stripped LAX of the tag team titles.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Which is I'd argue maybe the only other major thing that came off of the show. But it was a pretty interesting one. The undercard was a little thrown together, but overall not too bad. So I'm looking forward to continuing on here to see what this build could possibly be.
What was the reasoning for the vacation of the belt?
I have it written down here, which we'll get into. But if I remember correctly off the top of my head, I think it was just Jim Cornette came out and was like, "Hey, you guys tried to burn the flag, and we don't like that, so I'm taking the titles."
That's what I thought it was. Okay.
From the primetime special. So it's kind of a weird, timing thing, but
yeah, and then they have until this episode.
Which is also funny because you were right in front of him at ringside, so you might as well just said, "Hey, can you guys give me them right now?"
Right.
But what do I know? We're trying to get people to watch the TV.
I don't think that he has any legal way, realistically, to get the titles off of them. So I don't think they're gonna give them up.
I don't think they should.
There's going to be something that happens that prevents that.
Yeah, I'm going to take a guess here. We're not going to see LAX actually burn a flag. I just don't think that's going to happen. But they're going to burn. They're going to burn something. Maybe a TNA flag, or I don't know, a picture of Jim Cornette or something. Like, I feel like something's going to happen at some point here. But it's not going to be a real flag, probably.
I don't know if they're going to do any of that.
I like the idea of them like burning a picture of Jim Cornette and being like, "We're not listening to your authority. Like, we don't care."
That's funny.
But I guess time will tell what happens there.
Yeah.
Bob, as you noted, we enjoyed Genesis. I think it was. I don't know how you couldn't. But what do you think the readers of the Wrestling Observer newsletter said? Did they give it a thumbs up as well, or a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle?
I'm going to say that they went with a thumbs up.
So they did. However, it's probably not as much as you were going to expect. So only 52.2% gave it a thumbs up, which is, in this case, 144 people. 33.3% gave it a thumbs down, which is 92. And 14.5% were in the middle with 40 votes in that one. So not as drastically up, I think, as you would expect. However, we usually say, like, if it's in the middle, that's generally a positive reaction. So
I think a reason that it may have been that low is because Kurt won.
it could be.
I think that might play a factor. I really think that's what people, if they don't like the finish of a main event, they're like, "Oh, that show sucked."
Right.
Or
It's
maybe even like the
last thing you
Abyss
see.
thing. Maybe the
Yeah, it could be that too.
confusing.
Dave has some really interesting points when we get to the matches. We have a little bit before we get there, but I think he talks about some of that pretty interestingly.
I forgot about that? Yeah, because I'm sure Meltzer will have some stuff to say.
Mm-hmm. Do I need to ask you what was voted the best match? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right?
It's obviously Joe and
it's Joe and Angle. 190 people voted that. In second place, with 45 votes, was Christian Cage and AJ Styles, and then in third place was Christopher Daniels and Chris Sabin. What do you think about the worst match that took place at Genesis?
Probably Voodoo, the VKM against Divine Kazarian and Maverick Matt.
Yep, you got that right. 157 people said that was the worst match. And second was Hoyt and Ron Killings against Austin Starr and Alex Shelley with 32 votes. Then it was Abyss and Sting at 29 votes, and then the Naturals versus Dutt and Jay Lethal with 28 votes. So pretty interesting breakdown here as far as what people thought about the matches. Okay, so let's get into it here. Let me scroll down a little bit because I don't really talk about Alvarez's opinions because they're usually not very good. Okay, this is from the November 27th, 2006 Observer newsletter, which Dave titles Kurt Angle's first TNA match, which I was laughing at when I read this at first, but I also do believe he talks a lot about the primetime special in this. So I guess technically he does cover both his first match and the match with Samoa Joe.
Okay. Because you would think he's probably referencing Genesis as the first.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I really got that until I just read it right here. And I was like, oh, okay. He actually did talk a lot about the primetime special. So
right.
It makes more sense. Which we're going to talk briefly about here and there. It's kind of a mixed bag. We're not going to heavily cover the primetime special. If you want to hear us talk about that is on 2 episodes ago. We watched it live, and it was a lot of fun. Highly recommend you check it out in the archive. So, the latest version of the most important week in TNA history is over. When the dust settled, it's a weird evaluation, but overall, it can be best described as a mixed bag. While no official confirmation is in, based on our response, the Genesis pay-per-view on November 19th from Orlando featuring Kurt Angle vs. Samoa Joe is the biggest in company history, appears to either be the single most successful or, at worst, at the level of the most successful pay-per-view events in company history. The numbers appear strong, even with the Dish Network not airing the show. The Dish Network has also pulled out of airing future TNA shows over what network officials have called a contract dispute. So we'll revisit that at some point here in the next couple shows. But Dish Network apparently is saying we ain't showing TNA shows anymore. So on the primetime special, it was on the 16th, November 16th, a 2-hour airing from 9 to 11 p.m. The primetime debut, built around Angle's first televised match against Abyss, it drew a 1.02 rating and 1.2 million viewers. The viewership was up 20% from the 1.0 million viewers the show has been averaging in recent weeks. But even with more hype and a better time slot, it was nowhere close to the 1.4 million record level set earlier this year when it got the Shamrock Ortiz Ultimate Fighter season as a lead-in. The show did a 1.0 in males 18 to 34 and 1.18 in males 35 to 49. It was well up over usual levels with older male viewers, but males 18 to 34 were actually down from the recent average due to the lack of a UFC lead-in, which hits that demo the strongest. The show averaged a 1.5, and it had its best shows hit a 1.9 in males 18 to 34 when it followed The Ultimate Fighter Season 3. So that's our little rating breakdown. Now, when all was said and done, the story of the week is that TNA delivered a lot of very good wrestling, but the booking is questionable, in the sense that both the Thursday special, and even more the Sunday pay-per-view, taken on their own, were entertaining as shows for the moment because the wrestling was good, but negative for the product because the storylines and direction were so bad. Time will answer the question of the booking, but Dave says, I invited a lot of friends over for the 11/16 primetime special because he heard that it was going to be good. Now, most of the people who have been wrestling fans dating back to the 70s, a few still watch the WWE, and all were huge fans of it a few years ago, but most have given up on it. They were all aware of TNA's existence. Many did the regular 15-minute treatment after the Shamrock Ortiz Ultimate Fighter episodes before losing interest, and several times watched the entire 60-minute show, but don't follow it too closely. So Dave says, to me, this is the prime audience that TNA needs to hit, as most were WCW fans as well during the wars and even before. Although everyone was into the Angle versus Abyss match for the most part, the show lost their interest. Even the Christian versus Rhino bloodbath, which Dave says he gave that one 3.5 stars. So he really liked the bloodbath. It had Superheat Live, lost them because of the weapons they passed into the cage by the referee, made it a bullshit match, and they didn't care. During the Angle versus Abyss match, the spot where Jim Mitchell poured the thumbtacks on the ground didn't kill the match for them, but it again was that bullshit, I don't care anymore type of reaction. But Angle was the one guy on the show who came across as a real superstar aura. And then, of course, you have your Kevin Nash segments, which just reminded them why they don't really watch WWE anymore. It was far worse than DX skits on Raw that they were trying to mock, while there was a spot for the anti-WWE stuff and rallying fans and getting them loyal. I don't know that using Kip and BG James to say that Triple H and Shawn Michaels aren't cool isn't making TNA the ones who look bad to all but the company's most loyal fans. So, pretty interesting. He kind of talks more about the Triple H Shawn Michaels thing, but we don't need to go too far into that. And then he says, it was painful to watch because it was too clear to me that the negatives on the special far outweighed the good wrestling to the audience they needed to hook. When it was over, yes, they did want to see Joe versus Angle because they were sold on the match. But aside from that, they had no interest in watching anything else on the pay-per-view or watching the show again going forward. The build for the Joe vs. Angle is far stronger the week before, and that's without Angle juicing heavily in a spot which hardly needed to be wasted on Angle's first pay-per-view match with Joe, which was going to draw no matter what. The visual of Angle getting busted open to build a pay-per-view should be saved for when they have a pay-per-view that isn't already going to be a big draw. I suggest whatever new fans who sampled would have largely had a similar response. Do you agree with all that, Bob?
I mean, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing to me is he essentially invited a bunch of Laps fans over and was like, "Come watch this primetime special with me."
Right.
And I think
That
that
seems
is pretty interesting.
that was definitely a interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting thing
I
to
also
do.
like that.
What does he classify as a lot?
Well, that's a great question too, and he doesn't say. But my favorite thing is the idea that he invites friends over. Let's even just say he invited 4 friends over. It's a lot to watch wrestling together on a random Thursday night. Then the idea that he is sitting there and watching their reactions and typing up a newsletter. Okay. Okay, Bill said, I don't bullshit. This is bullshit. I don't care anymore. Like, it's kind of funny to think about. Like, the idea that he's essentially studying them. Yeah, you guys
Wait
want
a
to come
minute.
on? You want to watch the show?
So he's including his friends' reactions into what he was just typing in there?
I mean, essentially, when he's saying, like, again,
About the cage match, I thought he was referencing the live crowd, but he's talking about his friends that were watching the matches.
Oh no, yeah, that's about his friends.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. I thought he was taking like a live report of what the reaction of the crowd. He's talking about his friends watching it on the show.
Yeah, the only thing is
that's different.
The only thing is that the super heat he heard was live from the cage match, but everything else, those were all, I think, reactions more from his friends that he invited over.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I feel like I've always said that anytime that there are weapons in a cage match, if it's not a weapons cage match, is kind of stupid. The idea of weapons in a cage match to begin with defeats the purpose of a cage.
Well, yeah. And not only that, the referee was passing it to him, so.
Yeah, that doesn't help the cage.
I think that's arguably the worst part of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know. The primetime special, like the booking, and especially now in hindsight, so that's, we finally watched Genesis. You had Abyss lose by submission as well to Kurt Angle, and now he's the world champion. So this is a major thing for me where obviously Kurt Angle is the top star. No way to deny that. You could make an argument if Sting is your champion, but it's obviously Kurt Angle.
Mm-hmm.
From even like a casual perspective. I mean, the guy is an Olympic gold medalist and just fresh off of WWE, all this stuff. But not only did Abyss lose by submission in the middle of the ring, but then he won the world title by TQ.
Right.
Not the strongest of 3 days of Abyss. And I'm saying that as he's the NWA World Champion.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't think
if the mindset is for Abyss to become the champion, then you do not book him in the first match with Kurt Angle. You just don't do it. I don't know why. I don't know why that even happened.
It shouldn't have, really.
Not at all.
So.
I would have put somebody totally dead. I would have probably put like a cruiserweight guy in there, X Division guy, and then had a banger of a 10-minute match. Let's say a Jay Lethal, and just have a great match with Kurt Angle, and then people would be like, "Oh wow, Jay Lethal had a really good showing."
I don't think they would have went down to X Division guy though. I think that would.
No, I don't think they. No, I don't.
But they could have used someone like. You could have done like Hoyt or Ron Killings or like someone like that. If it's gonna be a fucking squash match, anyways. Essentially, I mean, I wouldn't say the Abyss one was a squash match, but But I think Killings and Angle probably could have had a good little match on the special. The whole point
you're sacrificing a talent to Kurt.
Right. So, realistically, and we're going to talk about it again at some point here in the next couple shows. Ron Killings doesn't really want to be here. So, it's not like you're hurting anything, and Killings is a solid worker. And it's the whole point is not who is Kurt fighting as his first match. It's just, it's his first match.
Yeah.
So why can't it be someone like that? I don't know. That's just a name I thought of because he exists and he's not really doing anything.
Yeah, but could you imagine you're tuning into the primetime special and if you go Hoyt or Ron, I mean, I wouldn't even promote it. I just think Kurt Angle in action.
I don't really think they promoted Abyss, did they? I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Well,
I think they just said.
No, they said it was Abyss.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I would just say Kurt Angle's going to be in action.
Because we knew going into the primetime special because Abyss and Sting, and we were like, why are we putting Abyss in this position?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know. It's very interesting, but anyway. Okay, we're gonna slowly start getting into more Genesis stuff here. I think there might be some stuff still like mixed in here and there, but I just scrolled too far. The Genesis show 3 nights later featured more of the same, with as much good wrestling as the show had. To get such a mixed reaction shows just how negatively the booking was taken. I thought the show was a thumbs up. And this is Dave, by the way. Because in the end, I enjoyed it, and the matches delivered. But from a direction standpoint, and the long-term standpoint, I think they did themselves more harm than good. And then he goes into, the idea of taking the NWA title from Sting on a DQ, coming across as cheap, particularly in a match that included multiple weapon shots and Sting hanging Abyss upside down by a cable from his boots, both men outside the ring for minutes, and then all without even threatening a DQ. Then it ended when Sting clotheslined the referee. Now, TNA, this is a throwback. So if you're a new listener, there's no way you'd ever remember this. But TNA did announce in late 2002 or early 2003 that its title would change hands on a DQ or a countout, using to show that they would have superiority over WWE's loopholes and a champion retaining. Basically, our champions have to win their matches, is what they're kind of getting at. But they had never used the rule to change a world title to date. Now, he does even point out they did do this once with the tag team titles when D'Lo Brown and Apollo defeated Kid Cash and Dallas, who is now Lance Hoyt, on April 14th, 2004, when they were doing the weekly Nashville pay-per-views. So, talk about a throwback right there. If you're new and you don't even recognize that being a thing, that shows you how long ago it was, right? Yeah. And he mentions it is something that hasn't been brought up in commentary since that time, and no fans watching who came in last year when they got on Spike would have any reason to know this. When they called for the DQ, nobody in the arena even seemed to know that the title had changed. Sting, when being told of the booking decision, asked to lose the title clean, feeling it was the right way to do business, and they told him that they didn't want him to. So
Sting wanted to lose clean.
Correct. And they were like, no. Because talk about a pro. Hey, you're going to lose the title a month later. He's like, okay, I'm going to do it clean. And they were like, no, I don't think so. It's wild. That's wild to me. He was going to put over Abyss clean, Bob.
Yeah, because he understands. Like, that's how it should go. A DQ finish literally helps nobody. It makes Sting look like an idiot for not realizing the rules or forgetting the rules and fucking clotheslines the referee, which I don't even know why you would do that. I mean, I guess he snapped, but great. And then, so Abyss is just champion by default. And the Abyss character is probably the worst type of character to win it by DQ.
Because generally, I feel like he'd be the one causing the DQ.
Yeah, but I feel like the DQ finish is ideally for a chicken shit heel.
Well, right,
to win the title.
Yeah.
Like if a guy like Christian Cage were to win the title by DQ, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It's
weird, dude.
Not Abyss. It just doesn't fit.
He does make mention about frequent title changes being the same problem in WCW in 2000. That makes people care less and less about titles, and we have been doing already, as we've seen, a lot of flip flopping between the X Division title, even just changed two times in the last couple of weeks. Now the world title within a month. We've stripped the tag team titles. I mean, we have been doing a lot of flip flopping in the last month or two here.
Well, bro, it's just a prop, bro.
It's a prop, bro. He goes on to say that Abyss is a good worker, and it's not like it's a disaster for him to be a short-term world champion, but he's not the right guy for the job at this time. And TNA doesn't need a short-term world champion to follow a one-month world champion. For the title to have any meaning, it has to end within a few months with either Angle or Joe, and have them feuding over it, because it's clear to anyone watching that they are the two big stars of the promotion. If Joe beats Abyss, it's not nearly as strong a world title win like it would have been if Joe beat Sting. And the same can be said for Angle. And then he even does point out, we already kind of mentioned it, but earlier in the show, they stripped the tag team titles from LAX, beating AMW. Even though the crowd was completely behind Jim Cornette and against LAX for the week-long flag burning tease, when Cornette stripped LAX of the titles, the entire turn. Because as he notes, in people's fantasies, they want titles to change in the ring, and they want people they can accept as champions to hold the belts, not just flip-flopping, taking them away. So, pretty interesting. We'll talk more about that here shortly as well. It can be debated also whether or not that Thursday special helped or hurt the buy rate. Dave says that he's guessing in the end it helped because it was a one-match show, and if nothing else, the show focused on the one match. So it seems like it went fairly well. He actually does a little... I didn't realize this. He has the breakdown from... I think, was this the... Oh, yeah. This is the breakdown for the primetime special, I think, the ratings. Because we got the first segment with the Kevin Nash vignette and the Team 3D versus Naturals. It gained 83,000 viewers. Budokan Mafia segment declaring war on Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Paul Levisque, and Michael Hickenbottom gained 70,000 viewers. The Christian Rhino cage
How
match.
did you pronounce his last name?
Hickenbottom?
The first one.
Oh, I said it stupid because I know a friend who used to say that. Paul Levesque.
Yeah,
It's fucking, I think Joe used to say it like that, so the joke came in my head. Levisque. Damn it.
Okay.
No, that's a friend used to say it as a joke. It's Levesque. I know that.
Okay.
Damn it. That was funny. That's a funny, like, I haven't heard that in like years. I don't know why that just came in my head. Damn it. The Christian vs. Rhino cage match lost 59,000 viewers, even though the second half of the match came after 10 p.m. When the top-rated network shows ended. AJ Styles versus Chris Sabin versus Daniels for the X Division title lost 12,000 viewers. Angle versus Abyss gained 140,000 viewers, which to me has to be a big disappointment for Angle's first match, peaking at a 1.11 rating. So I think that is finally our end of that, because now we are about to go headfirst into Genesis. And if you guys remember, if you listened to our Genesis episode, me and Bob rated the matches as we went. And so it'll be fun to try to remember what we rated them as Dave does his breakdown here.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, as you would expect, Bob, the TNA Genesis show on November 19th drew the usual full house of 900 fans to our Universal Studios in Orlando for the Kurt Angle vs. Samoa Joe main event. Our responses were up 28% from Bound for Glory, and Bound for Glory was just below the company record for pay-per-view buys, so that has to be a solid shot for being the company record. Angle and TNA hyped the match to where you were told to expect it to be the match of the year. That sets expectations high, and even with an excellent match, it did not reach the level of the hype. The match only went 13 minutes 31 seconds, and if it had gone 10 minutes longer, perhaps it would have been as good as Angle vs. Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania, or other of Angle's best matches. Perhaps they are saving a long match for the December pay-per-view, although when you promise a match of the year, and you can't always deliver on quality, but you can deliver on time. In this case, they did deliver on the quality, but not on time. The match was booked to go long, and everyone on the undercard was given strong warning not to go over their allotted time because they needed the time for Angle versus Joe. Angle was calling the match, and it was his call to go home way early. If it was because he felt going longer would end up hurting the match, or if it was a physical issue, nobody really knows other than it was a surprise when the show ended 10 to 15 minutes earlier than scheduled. Mm-hmm. The show ended with Joe admitting Angle was the better man and offering to shake his hand, but Angle surprisingly healed and walked off. Well, he was healing, but it wouldn't have been so bad if they hadn't done the two handshake angles already on the show. Now, Angle won clean via tap out of the ankle lock, ending Joe's 17-month winning streak. Any finish would have been second guess, but to me, this is to Dave, this was the only finish. I know the argument about how Joe was TNA's top guy and Angle should have lost the first one, you think, to show that TNA's biggest star was better than a WWE headliner, but he goes on to say, but for the perception about Angle coming from WWE, Angle is and has to be the face of the company. At some point, Joe has to score a clean win, and I would expect it to happen, perhaps maybe in a few weeks if they do a rematch. It was a great finish, and other way around, maybe it would have been a great finish as well if the circumstances were a little different. They build the match around determining the best wrestler in the world, and right now, TNA is marketing Angle, not Joe, as the best wrestler in the world, so he had to win that mythical title in this match. So even Dave thinks that Angle should have won this first one and that essentially Joe should just win another match with him. But if he's going to just win potentially in a few weeks or whatever it's going to be with him, why can't Joe just win the first one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would have had Joe win.
We've been talking about this for a while, right? And it's, yeah. I think I would have too, but I see what he's getting at.
No, I do too. I understand that Kurt Angle should be the face of the company and all that stuff, but the perception of fans. So like if any fan is buying this for the first time and Kurt Angle is far and away like the star. Mm-hmm. If Joe beats Angle, that kind of brings him up to that level. Then you have at least two guys that are kind of above the rest. But if you have Kurt beat him, it's still just Kurt.
That's a fair point.
So I would have had Joe win this one, and then it'd be like, hey, see, TNA does have the best wrestling. Mm-hmm. Kurt can win the second one, but Joe has that first win.
Yeah, exactly.
So
well, here we are. Okay, it's time to get into the matches. And first, we're going to talk about the pre-show match that we didn't see. So we can't rate it, and he didn't either. So don't worry. Eric Young pinned Robert Roode in a surprise in the pre-show opener. Young was out in the street clothes to make an announcement. Roode challenged him and decked Young with a mic. Young came back, and Roode got a 3 count by rolling with a crossbody block using his feet on the ropes. The fans screamed that Roode used the ropes, and then Rudy Charles then restarted the match. Okay, so they did like a fake out finishing. Yeah. Interesting. For people who look for logic and consistency in pro wrestling, prepare to hate TNA because you simply aren't going to get any. Young quickly got the pin with both feet on the ropes. Mike Tenay, I guess, to undermine his credibility, so that he didn't see Young's feet on the ropes. Charles asked the fans, and they said they didn't as well. After all that build to make Roode a world title contender, not that it's working, his gimmick has been changed to where he loses every match, and he blames it on Ms. Brooks.
Wow.
That ain't great.
Wow.
That ain't great.
That is amazing.
I mean, he did just do that. We saw him do it during the Fight for the Right tournament when he lost, and he did. We saw the backstage segment, but to really dive into that, I don't know if we got to do that. Come on.
Well, the presentation of his new character, I mean, it screams like 1988 pro wrestling.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's an uphill battle already, even in 2006. But to now switch it to where he's just going to lose every single time, it's like, why even put the investment of the whole manager thing?
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know. I'm curious to see how we see it develop on TV, and we'll talk about it more, I think, as we see it, but I don't know. It's not great. Okay, the main card, the first match. Kip and BG James, as the Voodoo Kin Mafia, or VKM for short, beat the new look of Johnny Devine, Frankie Kazarian, and Matt Bentley, or Maverick Matt, in 3 minutes, 38 seconds. It was essentially a handicap squash match. Fans chanted DX sucks. Kip used the pedigree on Bentley and started stomping his feet like he was getting ready to do Sweet Chin Music. but he threw Bentley out of the ring and used the Cobra Clutch Slam, or the one and only, on Divine for the pin. BG told Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Paul Levesque, and Michael Hickenbottom to tune in on Thursday, as they were going to unleash a ground war. After the match, Raven came out in a white suit and a black half mask around his neck and the lower part of his face. Raven was called the Redeemer, and he hit Divine 5 times in the back with a kendo stick as his punishment for losing. His back was welted and sliced up from the shots. Dave Meltzer gives this match 1 star.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. Next up, Chase Stevens and Andy Douglas beat Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal in 8 minutes 17 seconds. Shane Douglas was in the Naturals corner as opposed to in the back. Now, interesting note, Bob, is that Team 3D was actually in Japan for Hustle, and that is why they did not appear on the show. So that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Because we were wondering where they were. The finish was supposed to be Stevens holding Dutt up in the air for Andy Douglas to use a missile dropkick. Andy came nowhere close and actually dropkicked Stevens in the back, but they sold it like he hit Dutt and Dutt was pinned. It had been a good match until the finish. 2.25 stars.
That's high.
I think, didn't we give that one 2 stars? I can't quite remember.
I thought I made like 1.5.
Oh, it might have been 1.5. I think the first 2 were 1.5 stars for us.
Yeah, 2.25 seems high for them.
Next up, Christopher Daniels retained the X Division title, pinning Chris Sabin in 13 minutes 22 seconds. A very good match, but at some points the crowd wasn't that hot for it. Sabin threw a chair in, but AJ Styles took the chair away from him. Eventually, Daniels blocked a cradle shock into the cradle for the pin. After the match, Sabin grabbed a chair again, and this time it was Jerry Lynn who pulled the chair away from him. Lynn ordered Sabin to shake his hand with Daniels. He did, and then he turned on Daniels and hit him with the cradle shock and walk off. He gives this match 3.5 stars. And we kind of thought that there was going to be a Jerry.
3.5?
Yeah, 3.5. Pretty well rated there. I don't think we were that high on that one either, to be honest with you.
No, I think that was like 3 for me. I think
so. Yeah.
3.5.
Next up, Lance Hoyt and Ron Killings defeated Alex Shelley and Austin Starr in 11 minutes 3 seconds. Nash's arm was in the sling from his recent shoulder surgery, and he sat in for commentary during this match. Eventually, Shelley told Starr to get the video camera ready as he was going to finish Hoyt. He went for the spinning toe hold, but Hoyt reversed it into a small package for the pin. 1.5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was also what we gave it. So
yeah, roughly.
Okay, next up, Christian Cage pinned AJ Styles in 15 minutes 46 seconds. Dave says this match bordered on great, although the finish seemed to hurt it. During the match, Christian grabbed a chair, but this time Daniels came out and stopped him. Daniels and Christian were doing a tug of war for the chair. Styles went to give Christian a sunset flip, but Christian didn't go over and fell down on Styles, holding onto the chair, and Daniels as leverage of sorts to keep the pin. Styles and Daniels argued after the match. Dutt and Lethal came in to try to calm them down to no avail. Then Rhino came out in his lone appearance, cutting a promo and telling them to put it past them and shake hands. Styles called Rhino Dr. Phil, refused to shake hands, and stormed out. He gives this match 3.75.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, he gave that one. I mean, that Styles, I really did think that match was really solid. It was really good.
But almost 4 stars?
I know. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Next up, Homicide and Hernandez at first retained the NWA Tag Team titles over Chris Harris and James Storm in 9 minutes 23 seconds, but after the match, they were stripped of them. The team started out brawling fast. The match had great heat, but at times wasn't smooth. There were things that didn't click, and Homicide was working apparently with a fever, so he was sick. They mostly beat on Harris during the match. Later, AMW hit the death sentence on but Conan distracted referee Andrew Thomas. Homicide then hit Storm with the blowtorch and got the pin. Conan laid out Harris with it was the slapjack. After the match, Homicide had gouged him up in the Gringo Killer, but Petey Williams ran in and made the save, hitting Homicide with a pipe. Jim Cornette hit the ring and said he didn't know if LAX was serious about burning the American flag like they had teased the entire show, or if it was just a publicity stunt. He said the fans don't care for this. Veterans watching the show don't care for it, and people who have lost loved ones in wars don't care for this. At this point, the crowd was 100% into Cornette. And then Cornette said that TNA management was stripping LAX of the tag team titles. At first, about 75% of the crowd turned on Cornette when he said that he wanted LAX to bring the titles back to Impact this week or they would be fired. It was 100% booing of Cornette. Mm-hmm. So this segment backfired in a big way. He gives this match 2.5 stars.
Yeah, so the problem is that LAX are good heels, but they're over as heels. And the fans like to see them at the shows. So, like, why would you tease firing them? This screams to me that they're trying to, like, recreate what Cornette was doing with the Gangstas in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I thought the same thing.
And it doesn't really work because the Gangstas were in an environment where they were definitely not appreciated. Probably. I mean, it was literally a heavily white crowd. I mean, you very rarely saw.
I think that's why they did what they did, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it would get over, especially the racial stuff that New Jack would say. But the LAX thing, I mean, it just doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it doesn't really connect the same way.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Because I think in Smoky Mountain, the fans, if Cornette was like, "Hey, you guys are gonna be fired," they'd be like, "Yeah, good. These guys are bad," you know.
Yeah.
But LAX kind of have that cool. They have the cool entrance. They have these really nice moves, and it's an entertaining act. So I don't know why you would want. Like, the fans aren't going to be like, "Yeah, fire them. We don't want them around here." That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I also think it doesn't help that they just won the match and then he's stripping them of the titles. Like, I could see it potentially going a little bit better is if they did it just in a segment on Impact or something. But, like, they literally just clearly won. And then he's like, "We're taking those titles." It's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, they literally just won. I think that's that's one of those weird things too.
Yeah. I think that they're going to find a way to pivot out of this.
I think they have to.
Yeah, have to.
Next up, Abyss defeated Sting by disqualification in 15 minutes and 20 seconds to win the NWA World Heavyweight title. It's still, like, kind of crazy to read that, but during the match, referee Rudy Charles was bumped, and then Sting poured thumbtacks all over the ring. Abyss chokeslammed Sting into the thumbtacks, which was absolutely insane. This match didn't have that much heat, but the place came unplugged when Sting took the bump, figuring that he'd never do it, which I think we both did the same thing, to be honest. It was pretty wild. He got up with a dozen thumbtacks sticking all over his back. Sting made a Superman comeback and put it on the Scorpion Deathlock again. Abyss was tapping, but there was no referee. Sting took Abyss outside the ring and tied him up to the mechanism that allowed him to come down from the ceiling. This was one of those deals where time stood still because he took so long trying to get Abyss up. He then pulled the cord from the other end, and Abyss was hanging midair upside down. Sting hit Abyss several times with a chair, and then he untied Abyss, brought him to the entrance ramp, and he's throwing him into the tables covered in barbed wire, which I believe Mitchell set up earlier, Mitchell and Abyss. Rudy Charles tried to stop him, so Sting knocked down Charles, who called for the DQ. Sting then threw Abyss off the stage area, through the tables, covered in barbed wire on the floor. The storyline that they were trying to get across is that Sting had gotten so mad, he had become a different and more violent Sting. He gives this match 2.25 stars.
Now, you went 3.
I gave this one 3. I thought it was a lot of fun. Now, I get what he means about the time standing still thing, and, like, if you think about it logically, the DQ does not make any sense.
It makes 0 sense.
But I liked it because we were seeing Sting in a different light, which I think is what the point was. And it was just, like, so unexpected. And then Abyss won the title. It was just totally didn't expect it. So I think that's why I ended up enjoying it so much. But and finally, Bob, this is also the last note before we get into the show. I'm saving quite a bit of notes for during the show because we had such a heavy pay-per-view breakdown this time. Kurt Angle defeated Samoa Joe in 13 minutes and 31 seconds. The crowd was super hyped for this one. They started chanting, "This is awesome," before they even locked up. Or he says when they locked up, but it was starting before, I think. Fans cheered both men, and there were loud chants of Joe is going to kill you, and Angle is going to kill you. Joe whipped Angle's head hard into the guardrail. Joe used an elbow suicida, and then Angle came up bleeding badly with a nasty blade job after being thrown hard into the ring steps. He's bleeding all over the place. Of course, as you do in wrestling, Joe is headbutting him as well and digging his fingers into the cut to spread it more, which is disgusting. Mm-hmm. Eventually, Angle went for the ankle lock, but Joe escaped it and turned it into a choke. Angle then reversed it back into the ankle lock, and then Joe kicked out of it. Joe missed a tackle, and Angle used the Olympic Slam for a second time. Dave says it was funny because when Angle went in for the ankle lock the first time, he had pulled down his straps, so he had to pull up his straps, and then he pulled them back down to put the ankle lock on. Joe struggled until he was near the ropes. He never got to the ropes and finally tapped out. Fans started chanting, "You tapped out" at Joe. Joe said on this day, Angle was the better man, but he wanted a rematch and he wanted to shake his hand. Angle blew him off and left, went to the heel entrance. That's a good. I didn't even notice which entrance he went to. That's actually a real nice touch.
I think I might have mentioned that.
I don't even remember. That's very interesting. Joe then vowed that he would have to do things the hard way. In other words, they'd have to explain this booking of the show. Dave gave this 4.25 stars.
Yeah, that's fair. 4.25.
Yeah, pretty heavily. I think if it truly went on the extra 10 minutes that apparently it was supposed to, first off, who knows what else they were going to do, but also, I bet you this could have been the second 5-star TNA match. I bet you.
Sure, yeah. I don't think I realized it only went 13 minutes.
No, I didn't. Watching it didn't feel like that.
No. So that was an interesting kind of fact to learn about.
Yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, that's our breakdown of Genesis. It was a fun show. I always like hearing these things afterwards, but like I said, I think I am ready to get into this episode of Impact, Bob. And we have so many notes to talk about during the show. There's so much good stuff. So, and there's a lot of quick hits. So I'll be spitfiring the whole time. Should be fun.
Fantastic. All right. Well, then let's get into it. The November 23rd, 2006 edition of TNA Impact. Let's see what the fallout from Genesis is going to be. I'm going to count down from 3. When I say play, that is when we're going to start the show. If you want to watch along with us, find it either in your personal collection or just head over to TNA Plus. You can watch it there as well. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, we're getting the newer, We Are Wrestling. They showed this at Genesis, and I think I started the primetime special. And of course, we're going to be starting with the Genesis highlight package here, Bob.
Of course. They're not fit to be the tag team champions, and it's because of their actions. That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because then, like, how is Abyss fit to be a world champion?
Oh, right. Well, of course, Bob, during this taping, there were some explosion matches taped as well. Now, full transparency, there's 3 weeks until Turning Point. All 3 episodes were taped on the same taping. So, should we see the quality slowly fade? Potentially. Look at this weird graphic that they're showing to show Abyss's Tron video. Instead of just doing full screen, we have like an Impact thing with like little scaffolds moving. It's kind of weird.
I don't know if it's supposed to, that might have been an error.
I don't know. We'll see. But here's our new heavyweight champion coming out of Abyss. Bob, the first explosion match that was filmed was Chris Sabin defeating Jay Lethal, and that aired on November 24th, 2006, which, of course, is the day after this. The second one kind of a fun one. It aired on December 1st, 2006. Senshi defeated Brother Runt. We haven't heard both of those names in a little bit, so that's kind of fun. And then airing on December 8th, 2006, Lance Hoyt and Ron Killings defeated The Naturals. That one's not as fun, but
I think Hoyt and Killings are going to get a push.
could definitely happen.
And I think as long as they kind of approach with Hoyt trying to be a rapper guy, I think it could be entertaining.
I might have a note related to that, even.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I don't know if it's today or not, but I do have a note. Father James Mitchell's, he's a proud father, he says. He's with the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. They were just describing what happened on the pay-per-view, by the way, on commentary. Sting, I tried to tell you what you should have already known. It's better to laugh with the sinners than sit with the saints. Besides all of your preaching of dignity and righteousness, you proved that deep down inside, you're no different than yours truly and my monster, the world champion Abyss. Sting, time for you to be honest with you in your life. Is he going to be honest with himself, Bob? I don't know. We want Sting.
For some reason, I feel totally uninterested in Abyss's champion right now.
I feel like part of that could arguably be how he won it.
I think a lot of it is that. And it's a shame because he's literally the monster Abyss, and I don't feel like he's a monster.
You don't like that he technically won via disqualification and then was thrown through a barbed wire table?
Right.
Uh-oh. The crowd was chanting, "We want Sting," and guess what, Bob? His music hits. Is he in the rafters? Is he in the impact zone? Or is he via satellite? Let's find out.
That'd be so funny if it's via satellite. That's not Sting.
That's not Sting. Well, here he is. He's running down to the ring, jacket buttoned up and a plastic mask on. So there you go.
That's not Sting.
Oh, TNA knows. TNA down west already know. That is not Sting. Who is this? Oh my God, it's Christian Cage.
Fucking Christian.
But he had a wig on that did look like Sting's hair, kind of. That's funny. Hey, speaking of Christian, he's listed as one of the 3 top stars in a horror movie called Dark Rising. He's gonna be in a horror movie.
It's called Dark Rising?
Yeah. Check up the rating online for us.
I'm literally like typing into. This can't be right.
It's from Andrew Simek. If you need the director.
Oh wow, it is this. I don't know if it's. Oh, so.
Well,
wow.
he dropped the R word.
Wow.
2006 for you, I guess. Hypothetical question, Stinger. What would happen to your number 1 contender spot if you were to say not make it to Turning Point? That's right, because technically Sting would get his rematch, but Christian Cage was kind of the number 1 contender. Anyways, the lights go out, the lightning starts, and now I think we're going to see the real Sting. Oh, Bob. Look, he's coming down from the ceiling again. Onto the announce table.
Is this really Sting? I think
This is really Sting, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. He cut his hair?
No.
Or is it just slicked back?
It's slick back. He's going to walk over the top of him if he's going to have to. He does have the red paint on it as well. Wait, is he about to... Sting's going into the ring. He's got a new jacket on, too, by the way. You know something, Stinger? He's like running away. I could really care less about your mood swings. I could care less about any of these people. The only thing he cares about is me. Oh, we know that. You want me tonight, Sting versus Christian tonight? For the first time live on the Impact Zone? Dude, this is a huge match if they're just about to make this right now.
No kidding. I mean, we never got a match from when Christian turned on him at Hard Justice.
It's showtime.
Wow.
Dude, we have we got a pay-per-view main event tonight. Sting versus Christian?
That's fine with me. So the Dark Rising, which I've never heard of in my life, is a sword and sorcery adult-oriented franchise of 2 made-for-television films and a 12-episode television miniseries and another 5-episode television miniseries.
Really?
Yeah, so it looks like that there was like several, as I just said, like several different versions of it. Christian is only in the 2007.
Oh.
Which is Dark Rising, Bring Your Battle Axe.
I don't know if you just saw what was just in the crowd. I'm pretty positive Eric Young was in a turkey costume in the crowd. I'm pretty positive.
Well, that would not surprise me if that was the case at all.
And as a reminder, we are very close to Thanksgiving. In fact, did it already happen in 2020? Or no, we're getting there. We're getting there. We have a couple days, but
it would be what on the? Oh no, it should be.
So our Thanksgiving in 2024 is on the 28th.
Right.
Our next episode, spoiler, is a Thanksgiving episode of Impact.
That would make sense.
And if you are a longtime TNA fan, I'm just gonna say, you know what a turkey costume means. That's all I'm saying.
That sucks.
You know what it is. We have AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. The Naturals are already in the ring, Bob. They got the jobber entrance here.
Are we like surprised by that?
Well, they just beat Team 3D and won a pay-per-view match, so kinda.
I'm not surprised.
Okay. You were talking about... Oh, wait. Who's this coming out of a car? Oh, Kurt Angle's here. Oh, look at that jacket. Okay, commercial and... Okay, we're back. And Raven's talking, I think. These pathetic souls. This is creepy. Oh, no, is that Kazarian talking? That's not Raven. We're seeing pictures of Maverick, Matt, Kazarian, and Johnny Devine. Coming soon, Serotonin. Oh boy. And we're back, and the matches are
already there.
Well, their official introduction, it seems. But you're right.
I have a couple of indie notes here, and it looks like it's the only indie notes for the whole show, so I'll just do them real quick. AJ Styles over the weekend on November 17th defeated Pac at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's All-Star Weekend Night 1 in Reseda, California. And then on Night 2, on November 18th, he defeated Rocky Romero. Christopher Daniels also was at the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla All-Star Weekend 4. On Night 1, Daniels lost to Homicide. And on Night 2, Daniels defeated Colt Cabana. And that's your notes for this episode.
Nice. The Naturals are laying it in on Daniels here. Both of them in the ring, double team. I got a couple notes for you since we just saw a Raven related segment. There are apparently no issues at all with Raven and TNA. Scott Levy owns the rights to the Raven name, and there's no pressure for him to give those up. Because I think there was a rumor recently that they were trying to copyright it. We're good.
The Raven name?
Yes. I think it was a few weeks back, so it's been a while since we heard anything, but we're good. Raven owns it. There's no issues. Also, there has been some discussion of giving Johnny Devine a name change. I don't know to what, but they might change his name.
Yeah, what could they change his name to? I mean, you have Maverick Matt, you have Kazarian.
Styles, clothesline, taking out Styles or Stevens and Douglas. Oh, nice high kick, taking out Andy Douglas.
Have we noted at all that these guys are teaming again, even though they were like beefing for a minute there?
Oh, Daniels and Styles?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should note that. But it seems like we're okay, maybe? Maybe it's just heat of the moment.
But I kind of thought we were moving away from the tag team aspect.
Well, so did I, but
not that I want that. I prefer them as partners.
Little high-low there by Daniels and Styles, taking out Douglas. Daniels slams down Andy Douglas. Frog splash by Styles. And the BME coming in hot. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Well,
yeah, the Naturals are so done.
Fucking cooked, bro. It sucks.
Oh, no. They got to be, right? Douglas is like, what the fuck?
Me too, man. Me too.
What in the hell was that? That's funny.
Look at the Sonic the Hedgehog move of the night, Bob. Yeah. Let's go. Wait, Rhino's in the ring. Look, see? Oh, wait, Styles is mad now. Oh, wait, and there's the Paparazzi and Senshi? Oh, there's Lethal, Jerry Lynn, and Dutt as well. It's like all the X Division stars are here watching this unfold. Rhino is pissed that AJ won't take his advice and like make up. But they just worked together in the tag match. This doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, AJ still walked up the babyface side.
No. Yeah, Samoa Joe asked for the rematch at Genesis, but Kurt Angle would not shake his hand. Jesus Christ, Sting against Christian tonight. I still can't believe that.
I really hope AJ isn't turning into a snotty heel just like Sabin.
He is. Hate to tell you.
This is weird. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
everything. Okay. It wouldn't be Thanksgiving without Eric Young in a turkey outfit. Okay, the Budokan Mafia. They're in the basement of the Westin Hotel in Stanford. Operation Cease and Desist. Oh, Jesus. We're getting political. You will cease and desist. The target. Operational headquarters of WWE in the World Wrestling Entertainment. The accused. Michael Hickenbottom. Paul Levesque. Levesque. It was a joke. You didn't even laugh.
I knew what you were doing because you've done the joke 2 or 3 times already.
I know, because now I can't believe that I said it. Yet to come the attack.
You know damn well that if WWE called them for a reunion that they would do it. And in fact, they do.
They called them for what?
If they call him for a reunion, a DX reunion,
Oh, well, yeah.
they would have jumped back. And guess what? They end up doing that.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they would. Jim Cornette's out here. Yay. Well, as Cornette's blabbering. Oh, wait. Hold on. He's introducing someone. Oh, Petey Williams, the Master Conditioner. There was a press conference on the November 14th show in Monterey to promote the November 25th show at Arena Monterey. Abismo Negro was there since he's working the show, and Conan attacked him. The promoters are very worried about the show, as they have only sold 1,000 tickets in a 14,000-seat arena. Apparently, they were desperately trying to get Sting to do this show, but that's very unlikely to happen. They blame that Impact's only been on TV for a few weeks in Monterey, so people are unfamiliar, blah, blah, blah. We'll actually talk about that. I have the card for that, and actually, Bob, you'll probably do it next week as far as indie notes.
Oh, I wonder. Because I don't know.
I think it's technically a TNA show, so. Now, Jim, everybody knows. Oh yeah, it's on Cage Match, so yeah, we'll do that next week.
Yeah, but it is. You're right. It's considered a house show, TNA house show.
Petey says, "I know what LAX was going to do with this flag. I knew it wasn't right, and somebody had to stop him, and that somebody was me." Petey, you put your body on the line. Oh, we're lowering the ring. We're going to hang up the flag. Oh, we're going to make up for all the comments they've made. Oh, they're going to raise the American flag, Bob. I can't wait for this. Play the anthem.
Petey's an American hero.
Weird. Is this like when Jim Duggan joined Team Canada and WCW?
Oh my God. No.
Feels like it. Oh, they started. Pop, pop, pop. Here comes LAX, dude. Interrupting the anthem. I love that.
That's kind of nuts.
That's hilarious. I like that it's like.
Finley got like fired for that.
For what?
So it's not until years after this, but at a house show, they were doing the national anthem, and then he had someone interrupt.
Oh, he wasn't supposed to do it?
No, they booked it where it was like somebody got heat on it.
Oh wow.
I can't remember. I'll look it up right now. Did Finley fired anthem?
Here's LAX. Have you come here to return TNA property? Get this big son of a gun under control.
Yeah,
he's like scared of Hernandez.
It's in 2011. The Miz interrupted the national anthem at a WWE house show with military personnel in attendance. Finley took the blame for the incident.
Oh wow!
So that would explain why Finley had a little bit of an indie run in 2011.
Who is that? Who's that lawyer? Oh, they're going to talk about our First Amendment rights. Who is that guy?
He looks like a bloated super crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not super crazy.
You served us, I'm going to serve you. He punches Conan, who cannot fall because he's very hurt. LAX going after Williams now. Hey, by the way, Bob, Jim Cornette's out here. And Kevin Nash has been telling friends that he's eyeing Jim Cornette's role as figurehead commissioner. And there's feelings that Cornette won't last long term unless Vince Russo doesn't last long term. So Kevin Nash wants that job, brother.
Why would I probably enjoy Kevin Nash as a commissioner?
I thought the same thing. I actually really like that idea, to be honest with you. Here comes AMW and Gail Kim. Going after LAX. Gail Kim out top. Going after crossbody on Homicide.
Oh, Conan, what the fuck? He just whiplashed Gail Kim. Harris is covering Kim as Hernandez is punching Harris in the kidneys.
I know who that. I looked it up. I know who that lawyer was. It is Stefano from IWA Puerto Rico. Kurt Angle's coming out here.
What the fuck is Kurt Angle doing out here?
The man who really
he's
represents
America.
Yeah, but what? This is a tag team.
He ran out the face side. He ran out the face side.
Straps down.
This is just a way to get him on TV for this week.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a Kurt Angle note too. So, Kurt Angle told Chris Sabin that he was a great wrestler, but he didn't like his look. Angle said that he looked too dirty and didn't stand out. Angle later made the suggestion, and apparently was serious, that Sabin do a gimmick where he would be in a pig pen in the old Peanuts comic strip and have food and dirt all over him. Let's just say a lot of people excited about Angle having creative input, after hearing that, were shaking their heads.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
He said that?
Apparently, Sabin, yeah. And here comes Samoa Joe, and now we're back from commercial with a confrontation. Yeah, isn't that bad? Sabin in a pig pen.
Fucking be in a pig pen. Oh my God.
Unreal.
No wonder he likes Russo. Ideas like that.
There you go. I knew Kurt. When the smoke cleared and I looked across that ring, the better man would have their hand raised. And I'm here to admit that. Samoa Joe admitting defeat.
Now shake my hand. God damn it.
I lost to a man who's one of the fiercest competitors in the world. I lost to a gold medalist. Kurt Angle, I lost to you. Look at the respect from Samoa Joe here, dude. But Kurt, that was one night. So he's asking the question again. Will you give the world, Kurt Angle, will you give yourself the satisfaction of a rematch? What's it going to be, Kurt? You wouldn't answer him Sunday at Genesis?
One more time. Don't do it, Kurt. Don't do it. Wait, tell him you will at Bound for Glory.
Bound for Glory. Slammiversary 2007.
I'll see you in June.
I'm taking some time off. Crowd's chanting for Angle. He hasn't spoken yet, but
I only have 14 dates on my contract. We got to delay this. I'll see you in August.
Samoa Joe, you made me fight for my life. I'll give you a rematch on one condition. That you make sure that nothing happens to me until Turning Point. And I'll make sure nothing happens to you until Turning Point. If you got my back, I got your back. And then you'll get your rematch. So we're going to be buddies, and then you get your rematch at Turning Point.
I don't know if I like this angle.
Well, you know what's going to happen. I already was thinking about this. We did a rematch. Or we will do a rematch, right? So we had the match, we're going to do a rematch, and then we're going to be the tag team champions together. I just got this weird feeling.
Don't say that.
It's wrestling, bro. Okay, Operation Cease and Desist here. We're in a car driving somewhere. No more of those horrible skits.
So we're doing a horrible skit of our own.
Have you seen those horrible skits they do? It's 11:54 p.m. Operation Cease and Desist continues. Let's do it on 3. Okay, they're running at something. He just threw something at Target. Oh, it's literally Target, like the store.
That's the Target.
Oh, I said the Target, not Target, like the store. We've been out here for 2 hours, and we came to Target. So, yeah, don't do stupid skits, but we're doing a really stupid one.
I think that's the irony here. That's supposed
It's the point, but okay. We can't wait to see what's going to happen in part 3. But Eric Young in the turkey suit. Bob loves the turkey suit. That's all I know. Maybe we're going backstage with the TNA Spotlight with Jeremy Borash this Saturday night in Monterey. We were just talking about this. The Best of the Exhibition Twin Pack. You want to buy that DVD, Bob? It sounds sad.
Go to Walmart.
I have the 2-pack. 50 greatest TNA moments, of course. I have a Jeremy Borash note, but I need to wait. I got to make you wait for it. And get ready for December 10th. Turning Point, new logo, December 10th. Live and exclusively on pay-per-view. Bobby Roode and Ms. Brooks are in the ring. Oh, he's calling Eric Young an idiot. You're running around here all night in this ridiculous turkey suit. You're an embarrassment to the sport. And you know what? Oh, there's no talk tonight about rematches. Yeah, because Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe is on the same level as Roode and Eric Young from the pre-show.
Yeah, it is.
Robert Roode wants his rematch with you. Because you had to cheat to beat me last Sunday. I couldn't say it. That's right. He beat him on the Genesis pre-show. Thank you, TNA. In here, right now.
Okay, great. So is he just going to beat Roode in like 6 seconds or something? That's probably what's going to happen.
Oh, it's official. One fall contest. Bob, 2 interesting quick notes as Eric Young's making his way to the ring in the turkey outfit. Dixie Carter and reps from Spike, Midway Games, and Marvel were all sitting front row at the pay-per-view. About 100 fans were turned away at the door. So, those are, like I said, that's technically a 2-parter note. I don't know if he's trying to insinuate that the reps made people not be able to go, but anyway.
No, I doubt it. There's not going to be 100 reps.
He is in the same line, but yeah, I know. Also, Jeff Jarrett was helping run the show backstage, so he was actually there.
Oh. If Roode loses to a guy in a turkey suit, I mean, there's probably no coming back from that, right?
Well, you better get ready.
Oh
Big back
God.
body drop to Eric Young.
Oh, brother. I wonder what Roode is thinking right now. You know, probably just a few weeks ago, he's thinking, okay, cool. I'm going to get elevated up the card. It's going to be great. And now he's wrestling Eric Young, who's in a turkey suit.
Well, if it helps, there's also, and I also have a note that says there was more undercard unhappiness at this time than any time that Dave says he recalls. A lot of guys who are normally in good spirits have been mad about how they were being booked on television. Could we be seeing that before our eyes?
Do you think Eric Young is mad about this?
No, I don't.
I don't think he would be either.
I don't think Eric Young is at this time. This is what he's doing at the time.
Yeah.
He's fighting a former team member. Holy shit! Eric Young going for a moonsault in the turkey costume, but Roode moves out of the way.
The bird just crashed and burned. Way to go, TNA. Roode going for a pile driver. No.
Oh my God, he beat him.
He's done, dude. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, he beat him. He rolled him up. Oh, Roode wants a mic. Don't do a rematch and lose again. Do not do it. Roode says, cut the music. Cut it! Oh, no. He's yelling at Ms. Brooks. What is happening? It's funny that he's blaming her when she's literally done essentially nothing since.
And that's the problem. She's done nothing.
I guess so. I guess you're right. Oh. I was the hottest free agent in professional wrestling, and now I'm nothing but a joke.
She's not even showing her assets. This is bullshit.
I also think that's part of the joke.
Probably.
They love Eric Young. He cheats. They cheer. He runs around in a turkey suit. They cheer. You and your body? I bet you he could beat you in a bikini contest. That's kind of funny.
That's mean.
Oh, let's see the latest from Paparazzi Productions, and then I have a note about that match.
Well, I just did some lip reading of a fan, and they called Roode a not nice name.
Oh. Wait a second. Welcome to PCS, Paparazzi Championship Series. Lethal, Dutt, Senshi. We're going to find the greatest X Division wrestler of all time. If you guys are using anabolic steroids, I'm going to find out. Dutt's trying not to laugh. You can drive the Ford Maverick the rest of your life.
If you're on anabolic steroids, I'm going to find out.
Join hands. Everyone's holding hands. Nash, Shelley, I believe a Star was next to him.
Yeah, but they're the only ones holding hands. Oh,
no, there we go. Oh, they're doing Kumbaya. Since she's just sitting in the corner, covering his face because he's probably laughing. Oh, Dutt and Lethal are leaving. If you don't come back, it's your own fault. Okay, that's weird.
And Nash just called them juice heads.
So a funny story is that on the board at the tapings, they wrote down the finish for the Bobby Roode versus Eric Young match. The description was that Roode slips on a turkey leg and that Young goes over. It was a figure of speech, slips on a turkey leg being used for the more popular slips on a banana peel, which basically means a miscue by the heel causing the face to slip over. Because the booking is so wacky and people actually believe that they were going to have someone put a turkey leg out there for Roode to slip on and lose. Wait, Christian Cage is coming out and Sting's just walking behind him. Boom. Is Cornette on commentary?
Cornette is on commentary. This is what it sounds.
Okay. The winner of this bout goes on to Turning Point. Let's see. I got a couple more notes for you, and since this is the main event, I better get moving. I said that one already. Oh, this is kind of an interesting one, Bob. It's just more of a awareness thing. So there are some updates as of November 21st when it comes to market penetration. So I just like the numbers, the parts of this. So there are apparently 111,400,000 homes with television sets in the U.S. So as a reference point, that means, Jesus, these numbers are so big. 91,176,000 get MTV, which has Wrestling Society X. 87,894,000 get Sci-Fi, ECW, and 91,611,000 get Spike, UFC and TNA, and 91,980,000 get USA, which is WWE. That's kind of interesting.
So they're like in the same amount of households as fucking Raw.
Yeah, slightly less, but yeah, pretty close.
Pretty much on par.
Pretty close.
And they're doing drastically lower ratings. So
yeah,
that's fun.
We're back from commercial. And they're making note of Sting wearing the T-shirt because if he's putting thumbtacks.
Is that why he like wears the T-shirt for 3 years or something? I don't understand.
It could be.
Is it from the one tack shot that he takes that he needs to wear it forever?
Correct. He's beating down on Sting here with a boot in the face. This is kind of a two-parter, I would say, but Lance Hoyt has talked about getting his hair braided like Ron Killings.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Now, Christy Hemme continues to push for a role as a talent and has also suggested getting her hair braided and being a valet for Killings or joining LAX. Christy Hemme? I don't know. Kind of weird, but.
Yeah, I don't know about that. LAX?
Yeah, the LAX part I don't like. Killings I could maybe go with.
That sounds like she's trying to attach herself to something that's hot.
Yes. And that all kind of being said, this is kind of funny. Because he hasn't been used, they were all taking a collection backstage for everyone to chip in maybe $10 to fly A1 in for the next taping so that he can see everyone. It's kind of sad.
Oh my God.
It's kind of sad, dude. Sting's hyping up here. About to come back for Christian Cage.
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I know. There we go. Sting's hyping up. Countering the punches from Christian, knocking him down with the right. Going for a chop, a punch, a chop, a punch. Coming off the ropes. Clothesline. Irish whip Christian Cage.
I can't get over that. Everybody chip in $10 so that
to fly A1 in.
To see everybody.
Yeah.
Because he's done for our purposes, right?
I actually haven't double checked that. I don't know.
No.
He hasn't been on in a while. Well, look at Sting's getting angry. This is a more mean Sting. He's guzzling.
Dude, he's a pissed off dad face right there.
Yep. Picking up Christian above his head. Is he drop him to the floor? He wants to, but
not with the fucking ref there.
Andrew Thomas says no. Also, this is like a second part, but Killings himself is still unhappy and trying to get a release, but Terry Taylor told him they are not going to release him so that he can go work for the competition.
That's so funny. The competition. There's no competition here. WWE is so far ahead of TNA, it's not even funny.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Andrew Thomas is knocked out. Going for the Scorpion Deathlock. Oh. Well, poke in the eye.
I mean, Impact can't even do better than velocity ratings. Like, what are we talking about?
Uh-oh. The Unprettier? Oh, reverse into the Scorpion Death Drop. That was nice. I like that counter.
Andrew, wake up.
Why is Cornette on commentary, though?
Wait, he didn't get the tag titles from LAX.
No, he didn't. Who's this?
Who is that?
Oh,
it's fucking Tomko.
Tomko just attacked Sting.
I thought that was Rhino for a second.
It's the hoodie, dude.
Yeah. This
dude is huge if you've never seen Tomko.
Press slam, fall away slam.
They have a long history as friends. He doesn't even work for TNA.
Wow.
Cornette saying he's not a contracted wrestler.
I don't hate this.
Christian Cage getting some muscle. Slaps Sting, telling Tomko to put him up. Is he putting him in a torture rack? Oh no, looks like a reverse TKO.
Yeah, it was.
We need a winner in this match. Well, we have literally a minute.
Okay, I like this. I like Tomko.
I don't know if I do or not, to be honest with you, but I like that Christian has some muscle.
I've always liked Tomko's look, and in TNA, I like him in TNA.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops.
I like his theme music in TNA.
Oh, really? Okay. We're going to Adrenaline Rush. They literally ended the show with, we need a winner of this. And we didn't get one. So I guess it's a no contest.
Well, you know what that means, my friend? You know what that means?
A rematch?
Triple threat, baby.
Wait, Cease and Desist continues. We're after the credits here. Hold on. I told you that GPS was a piece of crap. Oh, they're talking about all they found was a target, and Kip just stopped him in his tracks. And he points, and we don't see anything. Oh, shit. WWE headquarters. We're back. Okay, to be continued next week. And we go off the air.
Oh.
Wow. What'd you think of that episode of Impact?
I mean, I think I enjoyed that. That flew by.
Dude, I think that was a great episode of Impact. I mean, did we seriously just watch that for 40 minutes? 41
That
minutes?
was
like
very quick.
I'm pretty impressed about that. I don't know if I love that the main event was a no contest, but that's okay. I mean, I can look past that.
We're not going to get a finish there. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but
neither one of those guys is losing.
We could have, though.
Christian is still technically undefeated, which I don't think we've noted that. You know,
Wait.
Joe lost his undefeated streak, but Christian has not ever lost. When he lost the title at Slammiversary, he was never pinned or submitted.
Wait, are we sure? Like, totally unbeaten?
Yeah, he's never been pinned or submitted.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's insane.
Right.
What in the world? I didn't even catch on to that.
Yeah, so he's still undefeated.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sure they'll maybe play that into something.
They have to.
Yeah, you're not gonna have him just lose randomly on an Impact.
No.
Even if he'd be fine with Sting. Yeah. I feel like they pretty much ignored the vacating of the tag titles, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, it's probably for the better.
Pivoted away. So.
Yeah, that's A-okay with me, man. I'd rather them just not do that.
Then the whole Kurt and Samoa Joe basically being each other's security. I mean, I get that. I guess. I don't know why Kurt would be like, I need you to watch my back. Seems kind of random because no one's really coming after him. That makes it seem like as if Kurt is going to do some things that are drastic that he knows he can get away with because Joe will have his back for it.
Do we think that's like a trick where he's like trying to get Joe on his side and then he's going to essentially set up Joe to get beat up or something like that? Like, I don't know. I feel like
it could.
Alternative motive of some kind.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on. And the other thing I don't really like about it is that there's only 3 weeks before Turning Point. Now, there was something similar between years ago, between Triple H and Steve Austin before their match at like No Way Out. But I'm pretty sure that was like 5 weeks out or something. And they were just like, it was different in the sense of like, you can't touch me and I can't touch you. But this is more like, hey, we're watching each other's backs. Or no, you're just watching my back so that I'm 100% for the match.
Interesting.
I don't know. I just don't really like it. If there was a longer wait, then I could maybe understand it. But like,
yeah, well,
we're already just 2 weeks away now from the potential rematch.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious to see how this is going to turn out. But I guess there's only one way to find out.
Wow, Dallas is trying to really end this episode quick. All right.
Well, I don't know what to say. We enjoyed it. I'm curious what's going to happen. We only have 2 weeks till Turning Point. I can't wait to watch the next episode in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Great. People in the curtain. All right. Well, then join us next week for some more TNA. So until then, for Dallas Gridley, I'm Bob Colling Jr. This has been the TNA Across the Line podcast.
911 operator, what's your emergency?
Help me!